Now, Irfan, right, is a very humane boy. From day one, he has a great love for people. He loves people. And he was always willing to throw out a helping hand to the lesser fortunate. Very sympathetic, you know. And all through his life, growing up, he grew with that. At school, he showed compassion for the students and his colleagues and so who were around him. Lots of compassion. Our relationship has always been excellent. You know, I always encourage him, son, you growing up, you must take your education and always be ready to help. We have a very good relationship from then even until now, right? Even now and then he will come to me and say, Dad, you know what? I think you should do so. You should do this. And so I say, okay, son, fine. You know, and similarly, if I would advise, if I see him doing anything that I feel is not in the best interest of him, I say, look, you know, this is not in the best interest for you. And you need to do this. And he was very obedient and willing to go along. For me, in politics, I can tell you that I was fully engrossed and involved in politics. It all started with my mother. I mean, probably you must have heard Sakina Mohammed. You know, she started the women's movement with Philomena Sahai, Shuri, and so on, and the others. And they started the women movement, right? And from then onwards, we felt that, look, we need to give support to her, right? And we must keep going in this line, because this is where she led us, and this is where I think we should keep supporting her and in doing whatever she has to do, you know. And from then onwards, my life in politics just keep growing and growing. Irfan got involved in politics, I think, following his grandmother's footstep, because he always felt that his grandmother was doing this and doing that, right? And he thought it best, in order to keep that name up, you know, he should be involved in politics and keep things going there. And then he got involved in Freedom House, the youth movement, and from there on he ascended to the height of being president of the Co-operative Republic of Guyana. At first I thought it was a bit ambitious, you know, but seeing his determination and, you know, what he was doing in terms of his goals and objectives, I saw that there were great things ahead, you know, and that he will aspire to some height. And on his campaign, I even addressed some of his meetings, you know, and I can tell you it was pretty, you know, exciting. There were times when people, the crowd was there and they want to hear Irfan and Irfan. I'd say, okay, all right. And, you know, he would give the message to them. And he would tell them up front that, okay, all this business of wanting Irfan to be president of this country and so, you know, would not be easy business. It would mean that after achieving that goal, it will warrant the cooperation and support of all of the people of Guyana. It cannot be a one-man show. And he has always been emphasizing that everyone should be involved in the development of this country. This country doesn't belong to any one person. It belongs to all Guyanese. And so all of us together must put our shoulders to the wheel and see the progress and development of this country. I think what will make him stand out as a leader is his compassion for people, for the humankind, and his desire to want to do and to do more for the people of Guyana. And he has always been in contact with the lesser fortunate people in this community and even right across Guyana. If he moves around, he looks for those people who would need his support and help, and he wouldn't hesitate in discharging that to them. His grandmother, if she were alive today, what an excited and you know, an elated grandmother she would have been. And I feel really the same way. You know, I'm excited, I'm elated, and I'm looking forward towards him delivering on those promises that they have made in their manifesto. I have no fear as to how he will perform in office, because I know him as being committed and dedicated. And whatever are his goals and objectives, he and his team around him will work hard towards achieving those goals and objectives. There is no doubt about that. I'm very, very certain that he's going to work in that direction, and he's going to work in that direction right across the length and breadth of this country, serving every single Guyanese. That is Irfaan. He has no friends in terms of that type of thing, or no favors for any special person or so. You know, he is very clear on his policies. You're appointed to do a job, you must deliver. If you don't deliver, well, you'll have to go.
And I were teaching at Western Hog Island Government School. That's where we met. And we got married 3 years after, because I went to teacher's training college, and he got transferred at Cornelia Island Primary. And so that was we got married in 1976, and Irfaan was born in 1980. Well, as a child, Irfaan was very loving, yeah. Everybody still remembers, you know, when they hear that he's the president, like my friend would say, I can't remember he was a person who used to tug at your skirt all the time. He was the one who was rubbing your elbows all the time. Teachers who know him in kindergarten or early grades, yeah, he always clinged to me. Everybody used to say mommy's boy, because every time they see Irfaan, he's either rubbing my elbows or he's pulling my skirt, and he's calling for me, you know, mommy this, mommy that, and this boy who was always like that. I can't believe he is president now. That's something people remember, you know. Always very adventurous growing up. He was, the neighbors, this was like a song to them. Irfaan, actor, the two boys, right? Because they did all the mischievous things that boys did, I would say. If you miss them, they go and climb in the trees. They grew up in their grandparents' residence in Lenora by the road, and there were lots of fruit trees there. They opened the gate at the back. There's a little trench there. They go there. I don't know, sometimes I just get an instinct when something is wrong. One day they went behind there. He fell in the drain. Just instinctively, I knew like something wasn't right, so I went to call for them as usual. And there he was in the drain. Yeah, so always jumping in the trench to learn to swim, you know. He doesn't wait for you to teach him. He just goes and he jumps. If there was a little boat, he goes in that boat. Oh my gosh, had me on my toes. Very loving, very caring. As recently as in March, his dad, usually very healthy, very everything, suddenly got sick, right? And when Irfaan heard, I could actually see Irfaan was trembling, and he did everything, took him to the doctor. When he was out of the hospital, he came here early in the morning to take care, see that his dad had a bath, to feed him, to make sure that he was groomed, cut his hair, shaved him, everything. As recently as even, you know, he was facing this political challenge, and at the same time, this was another challenge he was facing with his dad. But he was here morning, noon, night, spending hours until his dad got on his feet again. Yeah, so very, very, very loving, caring. One time I had a surgery. I don't have a daughter, and when I came back, he wasn't married. And Irfaan was the one who would cut my nails, who would do all these things to me, to make sure that he did all those things for us. Well, I knew that since he was small that he wanted to be a president. It was something that he always said. He always said it. There was a video, I don't know if I can find that video, when he was giving a speech and he said, you know, I'll be the president and I'll have to give speeches. we never discourage him, but at the same time, you know, sometimes you feel, oh, that might be out of bounds, you know, but we never said no. But the first step to becoming a president, well, of course, you had to have your education, make sure he had his education, university education, and I always encourage him to go further, do your master's. When that was done, I'm always behind him to go and get his PhD. I was the one always behind him to get these things done. So that was the first step, ensuring that you have a proper education, because you can only achieve those things if you have a proper education. I try to work on his personality as well. You know, I mean, everybody has flaws. I know Irfan's flaws, and I try my best to work on those areas as well. And yeah, and then the next step was joining the political movement. And so when he came and he said that he wanted to join the PYO, the political movement, so yeah, we supported him throughout those years. This house here was always accommodating to political discussions. He would call me if there would be a meeting suddenly, and I would have to accommodate, you know, make sure that refreshments were there. We did everything to support that. He's very committed to whatever he does, very dedicated. I've seen that when he was minister, right? I've seen the dedication, I've seen the commitment he put into his work, right? And he's very innovative as well, you know. He likes to think out of the box, and he does lots of things that you wouldn't think, you know. I was amazed, you know. Another thing I can tell you for Irfan, he is such a planner. You have something here, you know, like a family wanted to do a wedding here just a few days before, and I said, oh gosh, we haven't planned anything, and you know, in no time Irfan got everything planned and set up and everything. He is such a good organizer. He can get things done. I tell you, when I say that, I really mean it. You would panic that how we'll get these things, you know, everything in order for this short time, but he gets it. So that also will, you know, as much as it's something very practical that I've seen, but that's a very good quality that helps to make you a good leader. He is the most generous person you can ever think of. Like sometimes he will come upstairs, he's walking on the road, and he would say, you have a $500 or you have $1,000, give me. He won't say what he wants it for, but if I look out, I see somebody on the road there, right? Maybe a lady, maybe an elderly person asking for help, and he would just give them. He can give people his heart. He doesn't know to say no to people. And I think he learned that from his dad. His dad is really like that too, right? They could give people anything they have, even if it's the last they have. I know that about him. Life for me, personally for me, will be as it used to be. You know, I will go on, you know, the way I live my life. I will continue to live my life the same way. Whatever support I can give, the support that I've been giving him throughout his life, the support of a mother, one caring, giving advice when it's necessary, counseling when it's necessary. I don't care how old my sons get. If I have to do that, I do that, right?
My first words must be of thanks. Thanks to Almighty God, who has guided us through adversity and challenges, helping us to overcome them and to stand here today as one people, one nation, one destiny. Those who supported me and those who did not, that I will be the president for all the people of Guyana. In my service to Guyana, I will not see a nation divided by ethnicity. I will see a nation cemented in unity. My story is similar to that of most of you. I came from humble beginnings, experiencing struggles, circumstances, and aspirations no different from yours. My first and last responsibility will be to the people of Guyana. My government intends to fulfill the pledges in the manifesto in which we contested the March 2nd general and regional elections. We want to build a Guyana that is ripe with business opportunities, humming with employment expansion, and growing perennially in prosperity. I pledge to you today, as your president, to work in your interest, all of you, without fear or favor, with great affection and no discrimination. This is our land, our collective homeland, we all love, and for which we want only the best. I offer you my hands of friendship, my hands of cooperation, my hands that is willing to hold all of Guyana, embrace all of Guyana as we charter the future together. Let us join as one people, one nation, in a single purpose to build our beloved country for the good of all. Thank you, God bless you, and God bless our dear land of Guyana.